Thank you for joining Asia's best radio station.
www.ballyballyradio.co.uk brings you the latest Bollywood news, updates and film promos. Download latest podcasts of Carry On Harry Show on iTunes.
Now shake hands with celebrities on Singapore talk show Carry On Harry.
Inviting music composers, producers, artists on board on Carry On Harry Talk Show for connecting you to worldwide audience. Write to Harry Johal at carryonharry.com or visit www.carryonharry.com for more details.
Hi friends, welcome to yet another show with your talk show host Harry Johal. Today we are going to connect with the journalists turned book or writers Mr. Gurdip Singh and Mr. Singh Mahendru who have just released a new ebook titled What's Up, What's Down? Essays on Indian Socio-Economy. The ebook was recently released at Singapore Management University and was released by the hands of Indian High Commissioner to Singapore Vijay Thakur Singh along with other prominent names from Singapore, which comes from business community as well as from academic world. So we thought why not to get in touch with Mr. Gurdip Singh and Singh Mahendru to get to know more about the objective behind writing this book. What exactly are they trying to aim, and since whole of Singapore business community is backing up this book, so it would be very insightful to talk and know more about the aims and objectives that they are trying to achieve through this book. So first of all, sir, I welcome Gurdip sir to you and as well as Mr. Singh Mahendru for coming for the very first time on Singapore talk show Carry On Harry, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Fine, sir. So, sir, I want to congratulate you that your e-book about, Indian socio-economy has just been released. What's Up, What's Down? Essays on Indian socio-economy. So, I know you are quite, charged about, release of the e-book. So, how is the feeling for you both?
No, we are very pleased that the book was released by the Indian High Commissioner herself, and the people here has received the book very well. And we think that we have got a very nice book for both Indians and people outside Indians to read about it.
Correct. So basically, we know that the book touches the economy of India and relationship of Indian with other counterparts within various countries. So what exactly is your aim in writing up this book? What are the things that you have associated with this book when it comes to India's relationship with Singapore?
We don't have a direct intention of talking about India's relationship with any specific country, but what we have done is we have got together views from the businessmen and academics and other people, how they saw India's growth, progress and economic status as per of last year.
Correct. As we all know that right now India is also on drive of inviting fresh investment, as the Prime Minister of India is traveling worldwide, Japan, US and other parts of the world. So your book becomes quite obviously important in that aspect, because when it comes to investment, the imaging of the country really matters a lot. So how do you think after getting the various insights from different people within Singapore, especially the business community and the academics, what conclusion have you reached, in a way, like what picture do you see for India's economy?
India has got very brilliant prospects, and the Prime Minister Narendra Modi is pushing it to get foreign investors in. And elaborating on this will be my colleague and co-author Samir. I'll just put him on the line in a few seconds.
Yeah, sure, sir. Yes.
Yes, hello, Harry.
Hello, sir. Welcome, sir. Mr. Singh, you are welcome, sir. Congratulations to you that your book, What's Up, What's Down? Essays on Indian Socio-Economy has just been released. And probably we are here to talk and discuss about a little bit, get insight about the book itself. So, sir, you give your, insights like after you got, the content written by different, business community people within Singapore who are prominent in their field. What conclusion have you reached, in terms of the scope of investments within India?
Yeah, thank you very thanks a lot. Actually, there is a lot of untapped potential when it comes to investment in India. So these gentlemen whom we interviewed, who are entrepreneurs and economists and researchers and bankers, based on what we could get the feedback on through these interviews, this untapped potential can be utilized or unleashed or tapped through foreign direct investment. What is happening is that currently a lot of flow of money into India is through equity market, stock market, or through institutional loans.
Correct.
So what India currently needs is FDI, because this money which comes in form of FDI is for a longer period compared to the stock market investment.
Correct.
And what these researcher, economists, bankers and entrepreneurs conveyed to us was that investment will come if there is a quick single window clearance and the regulations are simple and transparent and timing is not too much, so that they can invest in projects like infrastructure, communication, and infrastructure includes roads and bullet trains, metro subways, and the areas through which employment can be generated, GDP growth can be there, and the purchasing power of the individuals can increase.
Correct. So,
Yeah.
sir, would you like to share who are the guest writers for this ebook, as you have taken some prominent people from Singapore, getting their point of view through the form of interviews which you have compiled into the book format itself?
Yeah, not the writers or contributors. Actually, we interviewed them.
Okay.
And then based on the interviews, we wrote or compiled or put together the essays. Yes, you are right. Many of them are based in Singapore itself. And most of them are of Indian origin or Indian diaspora. Like, for example, we have Mr. Piyush Gupta, who is the CEO of Singapore's largest bank, DBS.
Correct.
And now he is a Singapore citizen, but they have a lot of investments in India. One of the two Singapore banks which have investments in India. Then there is Professor Sukhdev Muni, who was on a fellowship with Institute of Southeast Asian Studies. Dr. Amitendu Palit, who is also a senior researcher with the Institute of Southeast Asian Studies. And Amir Ali Jumaboy, who came to Singapore more than 7 decades back as a young man, again a businessman. Also, we had a former CEO of TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, Mr. Girja Pandey. Then there is Mr. Karan Singh Thakral, who is one of the premier entrepreneur of Singapore with Indian origin. So a whole lot of people from different backgrounds who have different vocation, but at the end of the day, one common thread is flowing through them, is that they are experts when it comes to investment, economics, business, and who are experts on India.
Absolutely right,
Yes.
sir. So was it pre-decided that all these interviews which are converging towards a common target, that it will be reflecting the socio-economy side of Indian, was it planned from very first stage that it will be published as an e-book and not as a print media book?
Sorry, actually, I wanted to point this out that initially we had published it as an e-book, but we got a very good response in terms of the people picking up or downloading the copy from Amazon and Google. So because the response was good, interest was good, more people wanted to read it, so the publishers decided to come out with a print edition. So what happened last week was that the Honorable Indian High Commissioner to Singapore, she launched the print edition.
Okay.
Mrs. Vijay Thakur Singh, he is the Indian High Commissioner to Singapore. So what we did was that we licensed and coordinated with the Singapore management
University, with the Young Sikh Association, with the Chamber of Indian Confederation of Indian Industry, CII. So all these people came together, these organizations. So we have launched the print edition. That is the copy which was formally, officially launched by the Honorable High Commissioner.
That's lovely to know. I think we really need to congratulate you that the response from these people, has really backed up your idea of getting this book published into the print format. It will definitely reach more far and wider audience, because there is a segment of people who are not very much digital savvy. They prefer taking the hard
yes.
format of the book.
That is true.
Yeah,
that is true. So it is aiming at this audience, because there is 30 million people of Indian origin spread all over the world, including United States, Canada, Europe, Southeast Asia, and they have a lot of interest back home for how the native country, home country, is progressing. As you would have noticed that recently a gentleman of Indian origin, Mr. Richard Verma, was nominated as the next US ambassador to India.
Wow.
So there is a lot of interest getting generated about India, outside India, by people of Indian origin. So this book is aimed not only for the youngsters in university and students who can get an idea about what are the major issues on Indian socio-economy, but also for the Indian diaspora in Canada, US, Europe and Southeast Asia.
That's very positive news that your work is going to reach so far and wide that it's going to become like a window to the world itself. So Sameerji, I want to ask between you and Gurdip ji, how did you divide the work? Like, what were the areas that Mr. Gurdip Singh ji was looking, and what were the areas which you monitored while the book was being written off?
Actually, what we did was that both of us initially covered the incident of the Braveheart girl who was brutally raped, you remember, in December 2012.
Unfortunately.
So we had, as journalists, covered this event, and then it struck to us that why don't we do a wider work on this tragedy. So we approached a number of people like these entrepreneurs, researchers, economists, businessmen and bureaucrats, and they said that this not only that this tragedy should be considered as a standalone incident, but it should be considered as part of a bigger socio-economic malaise. So both Gurdip and myself first covered that incident. Then we went ahead, mostly Gurdip did the interviews with these gentlemen. Mm-hmm. Then he came back with the material and we together sat down and did the rewriting, editing, improving upon the drafts about what was written. And then finally we went back to these people and showed them the refined copies. And after that I added some more data, economic statistics and background. And finally what was done was that we contributed some personal essays as well. For example, the first essay is written by Gurdip, then the second essay is written by myself, then there is another essay which has been written on one of the world's oldest pilgrimages, Amarnath, in Kashmir, by myself. So we then did some joint work also in terms of adding more background material to it. So we didn't divide work exactly, but we came together to bring our work in synchronization.
Correct. And since a lot of things were involved while writing up of this book, there were expert opinions, and then there were your opinions, and then you have to come to a point where it leads towards some kind of a conclusion. How difficult was it for you guys to reach up the crux of the book itself, like the final chapters? Where did was it like very challenging for you, and where did it really sums up?
The most challenging part which we saw was that since it is a non-fiction book, it is a current affairs, statistics and economics book. So even while we were working on it, developments were taking place on a daily basis.
Okay.
So the challenge before us was to get it published as quickly as possible. Because then the statistics change, economic scenario changes, elections take place, the seat of government is occupied by another party or coalition. So all these factors kept changing even as we were working on it. So as you would have noticed, we introduced in the book a chapter on Aam Aadmi Party, and then so we kept updating the book till the last day. Finally, whatever was possible, we have done. So, and now I would like to again give the contact back to Mr. Gurdip
Most welcome,
for
sir.
speaking.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, Gurdip ji. Okay, so we have discussed a few things about the challenging part and what was like aimed about the book. I would like to take your perspective also. Like according to you, like what were the main obstacles while conceiving up this whole concept of taking the expert opinions, adding your opinions, and finally reaching to a conclusion? How do you see today, when you look back towards the book itself, right from the point when you first thought that something should be written about the Indian socio-economy, taking up an incident which unfortunately happened with the rape of a girl. So how do you, what's your take about it, sir?
I must say that I was encouraged by everyone I approached about the subject. And everyone came forward and gave me a support, a strong support by saying, okay, we will tell you what our views are and you can write about it. So there was no obstacle. There was, in fact, encouragement that let's put together something which the world can read as a views from outside India. And those views are considered very positive and very correct way of putting it nicely is the accepted corrections or accepted commentaries from international investors and experts.
Correct. And sir, since this book is being marketed worldwide, so what are the efforts that you are putting up so that this book reaches to the right target audience or the right target's readership, for who would be interested towards making investments in India and getting the clear picture about from expert opinion?
I am now. I have given the book to a number of VIPs, many very, very important people like the Indian External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj, and on the outside, we have given a copy of the book to the European Union's High Commissioner, Ambassador, and the American Chamber of Commerce, and institutes like these, the Confederation of Indian Federation Industries. And we have shared the book with very, very right people. We believe that we are placing the book in the right hands who needs to read it. And surprisingly, a lot of people find that there are a lot of knowledge put together in the book that they benefits from.
Correct, sir. Definitely, as an author, you must be having objectives and aims about making this book successful, not just in terms of the content itself. What are the other aims you write? What are the factors upon which you will be measuring your success as the authors of this book?
First of all, we will not be measuring our success. It is a service. We are taking it out, the views of others, to the right people.
Correct.
So we are very satisfied with what we have done and achieved so far, and any further achievement would be added gains, as you would want to put it. So we are pretty happy with it, and we know that it will go forward with more readers and more people online, internet, LinkedIn, and Facebook spread through those social media.
That's lovely, sir. So what are the platforms where this book is available? If let's say people want to grab a copy of the online edition of this book, what are the platforms?
Yeah, I have already made a special Facebook for the book. It's called www.indiaeconomybook.com. and it is on the Amazon and Google. Yeah, Google Play and Amazon. So it's available there, but if you visit my Facebook of, it's called IndianEconomyBook.com. So it's available there, and you can go and download it, and we price it very cheap at a nominal price of $5, I think. It works out there. So we have keep it very cheap and reasonable.
Got it, sir. That people can get the copy of the digital edition from IndianEconomyBook.com, and we would like that your work to be reaching far and wide. So since now the book has just been released in Singapore, would you like to share us some of the comments that were given by people who really matter on the release eve? What kind of feedback did come? Definitely, I know that everyone has appreciated the book, but any prominent words that really made you cheer up on that occasion?
Now, I would only want to say this much, that there are too much to sum up in that one question. But if you look at my press release that I sent you, the High Commissioner's comments were very, very positive. She took on and said that what's up, what's down, everything is up.
Wow.
So there's a momentum that's uptrend. And that's very satisfactory, and we had a panel discussion on what's up, what's down. That again, we have summed up in the press release and said that, everybody's positive on India than they were maybe a year ago when global economy and Indian economy had its own way of slower economic growth within India and Asia or globally. So it's all positive sentiments across the globe.
Well, we just want that that the book touches the new levels of its reach, and also is able to create the kind of awareness that is expected of such a book which has been appreciated by the people who really matters. So on that note, sir, it was lovely talking to you, Gurdip sir, and also with Mr. Singh Mahendru about release of this book, and what are the contents and what were the the aims and objectives behind writing up of this book. I'm very much honored and feel very happy that your work will reach to the audience far and wide, sir.
I would say that I have been reporting for about last 35 years from Singapore on various regional Asian economics issues, matters, and things like that. And going forward, that's what I will continue doing. And this book came as part of my daily workload, and I'm very happy that I have managed to put together something for the benefit of the people. And Samir is here. He will now give you his brief quickly. Just a minute.
Yep.
Give a brief for your...
Hello.
Yes,
Harry.
Yes, Samir.
I am also based in Singapore. I have been reporting on a wide range of issues, mostly commodities, from Singapore and also from India, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, and Australia from time to time. So I have been writing for the last 15 years as a journalist.
Great, sir. Great. So, sir, thank you very much once again, sir. And I really hope that that we get some very good news about the reach of this book, and like the aim with which you have written this book, that more and more foreign investors should trust Indian economy, and they should come forward and support the efforts done by the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi ji, and your book should be one of the contributing factors, sir.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having us on your show, and I would just like to convey to your audience that for every 1 percentage point of growth in GDP, if it is increased from, for example, the growth in GDP is 7% instead of 6%, that translates into a creation of hundreds of thousands of jobs. So it would be really good news if our economy grows well, and at the same time there is no compromise on environment. And in the end, I would also like to share the internet link about the book with the audience.
Yes.
www.indianeconomybook.com. So I hope the audience will be able to go to the website and access and choose and pick whether they want an e-book or a print edition. The choice is theirs, and both both the print and e-book, the electronic version, soft version are available. Thanks a lot, Harry. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much, in fact, for giving us the opportunity to talk to you on the show.
Thank you, sir. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for being in tune with Best Talk Show. Carry on Harry with entertainment editor Harry Johal on balabalaradio.co.uk. Inviting music composers, producers, artists on board on Carry On Harry Talk Show for connecting you to worldwide audience. Write to Harry Johal at carryonharry.com or visit www.carryonharry.com for more details.